Hi everyone, thank you for having us here. Thank you for that. Very well done. Can't believe you remember all that stuff. It's like reliving it all is a bit painful. But it was interesting about that white noise jammer. I think that was originally installed by the Ecuadorians because they knew they were being spied on as well, and Julian just used it in the embassy too. So John and I are travelling across the US. We're doing a total of, I think, 17 stops. We've done, this is our fourth, so 12 more to go. We'll doing a bit of the Midwest now, then we'll head to the West Coast, and then we'll sort of finish up back in Washington DC, where we've just come from. It's been just incredible, the response that we've had, across the country. When we started out in Miami, and then Boston, and then New York events. Sort of, they had to expand the tickets 3 times over to welcome more and more people that came. And then yesterday we had another sort of sold out event in DC. So it's really amazing just to see all the people coming out and everyone getting together again and sort of getting focused again and getting more people on board, more people talking together. And I think we're sort of seeing the momentum building from what we're doing already with more media and things like that. One interesting thing that's happening at the moment, I don't know if you're all seeing this, but Merrick Garland is speaking to the New York Times and the Washington Post and CNN today, about the DOJ and how they've been using subpoenas against journalists to find out sources and things like that. So what we've been asking people to do is to get up in the comments of the New York Post and the the New York Times and the Washington Post, and just let them know that you care about what's happening with Julian Assange and that the Espionage Act is being used against a publisher, and that they should be bringing that up with Merrick Garland as well. What else was going to tell you? I can tell you, back at the beginning of January, Julian won his extradition case. That was around the 3rd of January, and then he won on health grounds. The judge there basically, found that extraditing to the US would basically be a sentence, a sentence to death. A few days later, the judge, in a sick move, refused his bail, so he was sent back to the maximum security prison at Belmarsh, which is where they have the baddest, most violent prisoners in the UK. And he was sent back there, and it's been just over 6 months now since the US government signalled that they would appeal the extradition rejection, and we still don't know whether the appeal will be held or when it will be held. So Julian has been sitting in the Belmarsh prison, which has been COVID locked down. There's no visitors since October, so he hasn't been able to see his family, his lawyers, for over 6 months. And yeah, it's just heartbreaking to see your loved one just locked in a prison sort of indefinitely without any sort of any sort of sentence or time when they can be released. When I did go and visit him in October, it is, you do get a real sense that the other family members visiting their loved ones. I don't know if anyone's ever had a relative in prison, but usually they have a release date and or a parole or when they get good behaviour or something like that. So they're always planning or looking forward to doing something, or having a welcome home party, or making what are we going to do for the future, or things like that. But with Julian, we can't actually do any of that. There is no real end in sight for Julian. This is sort of part of the punishment by process that has been levelled against Julian over the years. This is just a sort of continuation of the last coming up on 12 years now since he was under house arrest and then in the embassy for 7 years. But I think we're sort of still, I think coming here and seeing everyone coming out and the hospitality that we've received is just really given us a lot of hope. And I think we saw Reality Winner released today on good behaviour, which is another really good signal. Something that we can look to as a signal. That there might be hope for Julian. With this new DOJ. Something else I want to talk about, and that I think is, particularly with the State Department under the Biden administration trying to re-engage with the world, is Julian has become, whenever authoritarian states around the world are confronted, by this new administration, by the State Department, over human rights or press freedoms, the standard response is now becoming, what about Julian Assange? So we've seen that, with Aliyev, the Azerbaijani authoritarian leader who has a horrendous record of jailing and torturing journalists in his country. He's actually a US sort of ally in the war on terror as well. He was asked by a BBC journalist, about his record on press freedoms, and he turned around and said, how can you lecture me on press freedoms when you've got Julian Assange locked in a prison in your country? We also saw the UK ambassador, the Russian ambassador to the UK, when he was asked about Navalny, what's your country? Why has your country got Navalny in prison? He turned around and said, Navalny, we've actually charged him and he's sentenced, but you're holding Julian Assange with no sentence on remand, so you can't lecture us about what we're doing. And there's one more as well. The Chinese Foreign Affairs spokesperson, the State Department loves to talk about Chinese human rights and Chinese press freedom. Which is, I don't really want to comment on it, but when they were confronted about it on press freedoms, they responded, what about Assange? Well, look, you're lecturing us on press freedoms, but you have a publisher locked in a maximum security prison in England, charged under espionage charges, and what we've seen recently, a couple of weeks ago, was an Australian journalist in China who is now charged with espionage charges. So it's this sort of, I think the State Department is coming up against this more and more, and they're going to find this prosecution of a publisher under the Espionage Act more and more challenging, more and more embarrassing, and I think what we're doing here can really help them to get out of this mess. Right, that's it for now.